Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for leaving my boyfriend's office Christmas party after he repeatedly humiliated me in front of his coworkers? This happened last weekend and I can't stop thinking about it. My boyfriend, 30M, invited me, 28F, to his company's Christmas dinner and I was excited but also nervous. I wanted to make a good impression, so I spent a lot of time picking the perfect outfit, doing my hair, and ensuring I was presentable. When we arrived, everything seemed fine at first. I introduced myself to his coworkers and they were polite, if not a little stiff. As the night went on, though, things took a turn. During dinner, my boyfriend made a joke about my job. I'm an event planner and he works in corporate finance. He said something like she just plans parties for a living while I'm out here making real money. People laughed, but I felt a lump in my throat. I work hard and I'm proud of what I do, so hearing him belittle me like that stung. I tried to laugh it off to keep things light, but then he doubled down. Someone asked me about my favorite event I'd planned, and before I could answer he interrupted saying, probably one of those kids' birthday parties. That's her level of expertise. Everyone laughed again and I just sat there mortified. The final straw came during dessert when people were sharing funny stories. He decided to tell an embarrassing story about me that I've explicitly asked him not to share before. It's a personal story from early in our relationship involving a mishap I had while meeting his parents. I was practically begging him with my eyes to stop, but he told the story anyway. I felt like I couldn't breathe. Everyone was laughing, and I wanted to disappear. I quietly told him I wasn't okay with what he was doing, but he brushed me off, saying, "Don't be so uptight, it's all in good fun." At that point, I couldn't take it anymore. I excused myself, thanked the host, and left. When he got home, he was furious, accusing me of embarrassing him by leaving. He said I made him look bad in front of his coworkers and that I was being overly sensitive. Now he's refusing to apologize and insists I owe him an apology for overreacting. My friends are split. Some say I should have stayed and dealt with it later, while others think he crossed the line. So, am I the bad person for walking out? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for leaving my marriage after finding out my husband has a child? My husband, 29M, didn't know he had a daughter, 8, until a few months ago. We have been married for just over 2 years, and something we both were on the same page about from day one was neither one of us was interested in step-parenting or dating/marrying someone with kids. So when I, 28F, found out he had a child already, and we had it confirmed, I knew this would no longer work for me. He saw it coming too, and he tried to convince me to stay, and he tried to make it seem like it should be okay, even though he wouldn't stay in a role reversal, and he admitted it. We have argued over it because he wants us to stay married, raise his daughter, and have the kids we planned on having. He thinks I should be able to handle being a stepmom now. He even said we don't have to deal with any ex-drama. But he has a grieving and angry child who lost her mom 2 years ago, lived with her aunt, and then was shipped off by the aunt to a father she never knew. It's a lot, and she has been through so much and is actively going through so much. She's grieving and angry, and she doesn't want to be with him or to lose everyone she knew by being sent states away from the only home she knew. There is so much help and support she needs. And I'm not the person to give it to her. My husband's family are disappointed and have wanted to talk about it, but I told them there's no changing my mind. I already moved out of the house we lived in because it wasn't fair to drag it out. We've been living apart for months and I already filed, but he wants me to change my mind and he wants me to consider therapy to try and work through this. He said I shouldn't throw our life away together over him having a child he didn't know about. There have been more attempts in the last month from him and his family to get me to call off the divorce, and his mom told me the family, love me and would hate to lose me from the family. And that I'm stronger than I realize. The whole thing boils down to, though, that even though I do love my husband, I am not happy he has a child with someone else. She's dead, yes. There's no competition or anything there. But I'm not happy that there is a child to begin with, and I don't believe I would ever feel she's my own. I always knew raising someone else's kids wasn't something I would be willing for. I know this is selfish on my part, and I am fine with that. But does this make me a horrible person or an AH in the case of what's going on? That's what I'm here to find out. Am I the bad person? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for telling my dad's new wife I don't want to be her daughter? My dad got remarried in June. It was just me, 17F, and him for years after my mom died when I was 5. Then he met Cass 3 years ago, and they started dating and fell crazy in love with each other. I met her and her sons, 10, 8, and 7, 2 years ago. I get along fine with them, but I'm not crazy about her. I didn't see her relationship with my dad as me getting another parent, but as him getting a spouse for the future and stepsons. When they were planning their wedding, Cass really wanted me to be her maid of honor. I told my dad I really wanted to be his best person. He asked me if I prefer to stand with him over Cass, and I said 100% yes. I told him he's my dad after all, and I loved him. That this was all for him and not for Cass. He said he wanted me too, but didn't want to stop Cass from having me as her maid of honor, but since I was more comfortable standing with him, he'd let her know. She tried to talk me around a bit, and it was annoying, but could have been so much worse. It was after the wedding things got weird. She had wanted me to pose for photos with her and her mom at the wedding, saying she wanted photos with her mom and her daughter, and I made a face and said I wasn't okay with doing that since I'm not her daughter. She seemed totally blindsided by the fact I didn't see myself as her daughter. A few days after the wedding, she sat me down and told me she had been looking forward to having a daughter as the mom of only boys, and how it really hurt when I said that at the wedding. Dad interrupted, so the talk was dropped, and I tried to avoid it. But Cass bought us a matching mother/daughter costumes for a Halloween party she was attending, even when I already had a costume bought, and she has a photo frame in her home office that says Mommy's Girl, and there's a photo of me in it. I find it so weird, and I don't even love this woman or like her that much. I appreciate her for making my dad happy, but I'm not looking for a mom. Just before Christmas, Cass told me I'm so distant and she really wants me to treat her like my mom. She said she wants me to be her daughter. I told her I don't want to be her daughter or for her to be my new mom. I told her she's married to my dad and she makes him happy, so friends, maybe. But I'm not open up a new mom. She told me I was setting out to crush her dreams of having a daughter when I didn't even give her a chance to be a good mom to me, and she said that was so unfair, when she's here doing everything she can to make us have a beautiful mother-daughter relationship. And she brought up how much it hurt her that I wasn't her maid of honor at the wedding. Am I the bad person? Can't wrap my head around that story. What do you think? Who is in the wrong there? Let us know down in the comments section, and let's move on to our last case. Case 4. Am I the bad person for refusing to help my coworker with her project after she took credit for mine? I, 30F, work in a team of 5 at a marketing company, and we've been working on a big project for the past few weeks. I've been putting in a lot of extra hours, staying late, and really pushing myself to get things done on time. My coworker, Rachel, 28F, is part of the team, but she's been a little disengaged. She's been missing meetings, showing up late, and not really contributing much to the work. I've tried to help her get caught up and offered to work together, but she always seems too busy or distracted. Last week, we were finalizing the project and I sent over my section for review. When it came time for the presentation to the higher-ups, I found out that Rachel had basically copied my work and presented it as her own. She didn't even acknowledge that I helped her or that the work was mine. I was pretty livid but didn't say anything during the meeting, trying to keep it professional. Afterward, I confronted her about it and she played it off like it was no big deal. She said she was just too busy and didn't have time to work on her part, so she used mine as a reference. I told her that it wasn't a reference, it was my actual work, and she took credit for it. Now she's asking me to help her with her next part of the project, but I'm really upset and don't feel like I should. I've worked hard, and I feel like she's trying to take advantage of me. Our boss has noticed she's been slacking lately and is counting on me to help, but I just don't think I can support someone who has already taken advantage of me like this. I'm getting a lot of pressure from the team and even some friends to just let it go, but I'm standing firm on not helping her. Am I the bad person for refusing to help her after what she did? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.